myself down a bit.
You're going to go so...
Look, we're the same height. That's perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drink the Coffee, Do the Work, the video podcast edition where we have 3 cameras and a dog, and we are 2 creatives talking about creative things and how we drink the coffee and do the work. My name is Timothy Musa.
I'm Lindsay Coulter.
I'm a photographer, video maker.
I'm a photographer, fun times haver. Yeah, no, I felt like I needed to balance you out.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
okay, we're here.
Like how I balance myself out.
Yeah, I'm a photographer, entrepreneur.
Perfect. Today's episode, we're talking about how we come up with new ideas, where we get inspiration from.
Yeah.
So let's start. Lindsay, where do you get your ideas from? Whether it be for your clothing line, Georgian Bay, or for, couples that you take photos of?
I love this conversation because it constantly changes for me as my life circumstances change, as my businesses evolve, as I evolve as a human being, and the kind of inputs that I'm experiencing at any given time. Currently, I feel that I am the most creative when I'm exercising. That's like when I have the best ideas. I generally find the time that I have the best ideas are times when I absolutely could not effectively write them down. Driving a car, right? Driving a car.
In the shower where there's no pen.
In a shower,
yeah.
running on the treadmill.
Yep.
The times when it's the most annoying, that's when I would come up with a great idea.
Right.
I think creativity is, although we think that it's something that you are or you are not, I completely disagree with that. I think it's something that you foster over time and you learn what you're doing that's killing your creativity and what you can do that's going to foster it more. So for me, exercise is a really big one. There's like lots of science there that your brain is just going to be firing more and you're bringing more oxygen into your body. So of course you're going to be a bit more creative during those times.
Yeah.
And it's not just to say like every person that when they jump in the shower, they're going to have great ideas.
And that's the thing, because I heard that once and I was like, oh, this is great. I just have to stop.
I'll shower all the
thinking about
time.
it. Yeah, I'll just be the cleanest guy.
I'm going to shower 12 hours a day. Yeah.
I'll have all the ideas. But then when you force that, it never
it's not going to happen.
No.
You have to kind of stop trying to think about things for a little bit. Surrounding yourself with creative people is a huge one for me. So
Same.
Sharing my ideas openly and freely with people that I trust, obviously, because you don't want to just share your ideas with people that you don't know and find a website pop up one day with your exact idea.
Not so fun.
That hasn't happened to me yet. I just think that would be a funny thing to do. But just like spitballing ideas with friends over coffee, over wine. Who was it that said that they write drunk, edit sober?
Hemingway.
Yeah. There's definitely something to a libation that gets your creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because it kind of brings your brain back to a simpler state. Like being a kid. Remember being a kid, you had ideas galore.
Crayons.
You could write a book, no problem.
Yep.
Comics every day. Mm-hmm. New stories that I would come up with. So maybe our brains have just gotten overloaded with nonsense.
Or there's an inner critic of like...
We shoot it down before we even give it a chance.
You want to have success from an idea. So if you don't see a repeatable pattern where you can get success, you're just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Just forget it. Yeah.
There's definitely something to be said for coming up with an idea and not being afraid of what people will think of it.
Yeah.
Because the second that you start thinking about what other people are going to think about your idea, you haven't even given it a chance. You haven't even written it down yet, and your fears already jumped in.
You've applied a value to it that's just like you're never going to surpass.
No, it could be like the dumbest and worst idea, but maybe it'll make you $1 million one day, or maybe it'll just make you happy.
Maybe it's the next Bitcoin. You don't know, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And where do you get ideas from, Tim? Or how do you foster your creativity?
A lot of my ideas in the beginning of my career as a photographer and video maker came from seeing other video makers and photographers. That's just kind of what we do as human beings. We're apes. We imitate.
Totally.
And then we repeat.
Yeah.
And although I felt like I was creating a lot more original work, I know in my heart that it wasn't original. It was very much like...
you felt like...
I felt like I was more productive because I was just repeating what I saw. And
sure.
just regurgitating it. And obviously there were slight variances. It wasn't like verbatim plagiarism, but I would take inspiration around the world, just try and copy them and recreate them.
They were creating a product that was working.
Totally.
And within a creative space, we could make this an entire other episode,
totally.
But is all art already being reproduced right now? Like we've been doing this for so long. Has somebody already done?
There's no originality.
Yeah, somebody already done the same thing that you're doing, but you could do it in a better and different way. You could do it in your own way. Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to your intention, and it comes down to like you said, I knew it wasn't really mine. Like, do you feel like it's yours? And in your heart, do you know you feel really good about it?
I know that when I'm creating work that I feel really good about, it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's something that I haven't
You're putting yourself out there, right?
Totally.
On a
and
limb.
I think that's what's important. That's what I'm trying to do, and more so in my videos and photo work, is like just do something I wouldn't have done last week.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it'll be something good. And I have to be more intentionally like afraid of, or not afraid, vulnerable with like the results.
You know what? I love vulnerability in the early stages of creating any business. And I think, we've created multiple businesses or even just small side arms of our business.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of vulnerability in every single one. So recently I launched a commercial side to my photography business. And even though I've been doing it forever, there's some vulnerability in putting yourself out there and being like, hi guys,
I do this too.
I made this new website.
Yeah.
And you have to write copy for it, and you have to decide what the overall aesthetic is going to be and which photos you're going to include in your portfolio.
Yep.
And to me, that's the goods. Like, that's the best part of creating a business.
Yeah.
I could do that over and over again.
Totally.
Like the creating and the vulnerability, it feels really good to me. So I'm always shocked. I was actually just talking about this with my mom yesterday because we were talking about copycats in really all industries. And I was saying how funny it is that people want to rip off the thing that's my favorite part because they want to skip over that part. So they want to do the selling. So say somebody wants to create a clothing line.
Okay.
And they're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a clothing line for like up north. What could I do? And they just like Google like
what's up north?
What's like Muskoka like kind of clothing lines, and then they come up with one that's fairly popular, and they're like Georgian Bay Co.
That could work.
If I take Co off, I think it could pass for sure. And maybe other people are using something similar, and they're like, that's mine now, and I'm gonna run with that. And they don't have to put themselves out there because they didn't come up with the idea. So there's no fear of what happens if this fails, because really you're just failing at the selling part, not at the creating part.
Yeah.
So there's no part of you in it anymore. It's just in the selling part. And I'm like, that's the best part.
Yeah.
You missed the whole best part.
It's the whole damn thing.
Mess the whole thing up if you really want to, right? Because that's a good feeling to know, okay, that didn't work. What am I my brain will then start coming up with alternate ideas. What would work that's similar? What did work that clients liked? And I don't know. I think those early stages, being comfortable with failing, and we hear it all the time, like failing forward.
Yeah.
Don't take it as a hit. Don't take it as like, well, I am an idiot and I have nothing creative to share with the world, and so therefore
that didn't work. So I'm just gonna crawl into a coffin.
Yeah, and
bury myself.
Yeah, and I think there's something really unfortunate when people can't put themselves out there a little bit, and I think that's our school system. There's a lot of things that have gone into people not wanting to put themselves out there and be creative, but that's the only time that those ideas are going to come is when you're being a little bit vulnerable.
And when they're going to work, when they're going to have some kind of legs to go forward and become a success, or just teach you something in general. Yeah.
So I think it's really a practice thing. I think that's all it really comes down to, is knowing that if you come up with an idea and it's absolute trash, that's awesome. Right? Like, don't execute it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe not.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, what's the next thing?
Yeah. What can you build off that to get something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
This is great.
That's the goods. I think that's great, Tim. We really want to make these like small, bite-sized kind of clips for you guys to enjoy.
Exactly.
Pick up whenever you need a little dose of creativity, some content that's going to spur some creative moments in your own lives and your own businesses. So if you have other ideas, we would love to hear them. Please feel free to share them with us on Instagram. You can comment below this video, wherever you're viewing this, and let us know, where do you guys find creativity? What do you do every single day to help foster creativity?
Totally.
We would love to hear from you.